I don't play furry games. In my experience, furry games are one of two things: cringe or porn. A lot of times they're both. So when I heard about this game on Twitter, I was holding my judgment a little bit. I held myself off from it because I didn't know what to expect. This game is called Komorebi. Chameleon? I'm butchering the name of it, but it is an indie game. This is the demo for it, and it's been the hot thing on my Twitter feed, so I wanted to check it out, see what it was about. Again, I don't play furry games. I find they're not really that enjoyable for me, especially visual novel type games. They're not really that fun for me, but I'm going into this unbiased as I can, and I'm going to try to enjoy the game for what it is, especially if it's got a good story element and everything like that. So keep in mind, all of my opinions about this game are my own. You can feel free to love the game if you want. I'm going to save my judgment for when I actually play it. So we're going to give it a try today. This is just the demo. See where it goes from there. So, let's go ahead and start a new game. Apparently this is fully voice acted too, which is actually kind of cool. It's not often you see
Welcome to Komorebi.
Komorebi. Okay, wow, that's actually a really cool.
You have chosen to take part in a personal experience.
Have I?
In exchange for that, we have given you several options to use.
Oh, okay.
Feel free to do so at your leisure.
I will. Thank you very much for the freedom of choice.
Your experience will be divided into fragments like these.
Is it like gonna have branching storylines?
Right now, there's only one.
Okay.
Try saving and then interact with this fragment.
Okay.
Alternatively, feel free to enjoy the view.
What view? Space? I like space.
Experience opening fragment. A new beginning.
Sure, why not? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Whoa. I do like the art style so far. The art style is very interesting. Fear of the future must not define us. It is regrets of the past that make us who we are. Ooh. I like the art style. It's very, reminds me of cyberpunk. My eyes flutter as I linger on the precipice of a peaceful sleep. Cars pass by, then fade away, lulling me like mechanical waves on a suburban ocean. However, as enticing as my slumber may seem, it is not the time nor the place. As we drive, I keep myself awake with pleasant thoughts. Thoughts both old and new. Those vehicles that pass by, where were they going? Where did they come from? I dig deeper and start to wonder who those people are. Who they loved and held dear. Billions of people, all with lives fundamentally different from mine. It's a lot to take in. It really is, once you think about it. The whole adage of walk in somebody else's shoes, like, to figure out why they act the way they do, why they kind of, like, maybe have certain opinions about something. It's why I don't argue with people that might have a different opinion from me, because one, you're completely free to have your own opinion, and two, you've had different life experiences from me. So I have no right to tell you you're wrong about something unless you're basing something purely on fiction and not fact. But is the difference a good thing or a bad thing? I stop to think, and I can find no answer. As many people say, though, the unknown is alluring. That's part of why I'm sitting here right now. I feel a tap on my shoulder and I let out a loud yawn. Giving my friend a slight smile. It isn't long before I receive one in return. At least we're both on the same page. There'd be plenty of time to sleep later.
Hey, you all right over there?
Sure?
Ever since we left the airport, you've been dozing off like mad. I thought it was pretty good company, you know? You're offending me.
Oh my god. Let a man sleep! I shake my head as if I would do, that's a lot of options. Why is there a love option? I knew it! I shake my head as if doing so would grant me further clarity. Oh my god, so you're great company. I'm just really tired. Honestly, I was waiting for you to make the first move. You're pretty boring. I'm planning a return flight home. Oh my god, that's just mean. Makes you think you can wake me up like that and punch him? Just feeling a little homesick, that's all. God, I don't want to be a dick. Kind of curious what the love option does, but we're gonna go with, I'm really tired, because I am so tired. I'm so tired.
Yeah, me too. But you're the only one to blame here.
Why?
Why did you book the red eye? Now there's a question for the ages. I had some coffee, but not even that could save me. Besides...
Before he can continue, he's cut off by a loud beeping noise. Oh, it's the protogen that they brought along with them to handle their menial tasks. A light on the dashboard starts to flash, causing him to groan in annoyance. He looks down for a moment and presses a button to silence the intrusion.
Distracted driving? Of course. Apparently, this thing doesn't want me talking to my friend. I guess it thinks you're a risk? Maybe you should take that as a compliment.
Wait, so are the cars, like, they're futuristic as fuck? So, like, what year is this? I shrug, unsure of how to respond as I rest my head on the window. According to the system, almost everything was a risk these days. Oh, wait. It wasn't worth losing the points, so we sit and remain in silence. Losing points. This is immediately, like, the background and kind of the system, and it's reminding me a lot of Cyberpunk, especially like this cityscape kind of thing here, and especially sounding like they're living in a little more high-tech of an environment, so it's very cyberpunky, or like Tron, the system, the master control, as you will. I don't know. Honk. Honk, honk, am prut. Are we home? Am I home? A few moments later, the silence is finally broken. I'm thankful, as things were starting to get a little awkward. But I guess meeting someone for the first time is always like that.
Well, it was nice of him to pick you up from the airport. Isaac, right?
Why are you hot? Look, I may be straight, but I know a hot dude when I see one, okay?
Make sure to keep people like him close by during a change like this. Things may seem a bit uncertain right now, but remember, that's not a bad thing.
I'm very uncertain about a lot of things right now. I don't know if I told you, but the earring, the long hair, work it. It's working. He fiddles with a few papers in his hands before pulling out a specific sheet. Placing it on the table between us, he slowly slides it over to my side of the room. Am I signing a timeshare? I picked it up and inspected it for a few moments. It's a basic questionnaire.
If you could just fill out the basics, that would be great.
Sure, why not? Anything for you.
Obviously, I know who you are, but we need to leave a paper trail. You fill that out, and I'll decide our topics for the day, all right?
Okay, yeah, works for me. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. One thing I wish, I don't know either of these two's names. I nod, grabbing the pen that rests on the table beside me. These sessions were always boring, especially the first few. A new city and a new counselor, right back to square one. After filling out the form, I place it on the table and slide it back. Counselor picks it up, inspects it, and gives me a knowing nod.
All that aside, I assume that you still prefer the name Delta? It was mentioned in the note sent over by your previous counselor.
Delta!
Don't worry.
Sure.
It's normal. A lot of people your age shy away from their birth name. Why spend our lives with something that's been decided for us, right? Things are a lot more flexible than we give them credit for.
This is interesting. Wait.
That includes the future. A fact that people tend to forget.
I really don't know where he's going with this. That's interesting. Like, all of your decisions were made for you as a kid. Your name, your freaking, like, so much about you is crafted by everybody else growing up, or like your parents, for instance, that it's scary to go against the grain and it's scary to go against the status quo. There's a new status quo being written, and it scares people, I think, more often than not, because change is hard. As much as we want the world to change for the better, change is very hard to grab. And that's something I think we as a society need to normalize and accept, is that Change is going to happen. You may like it, you may dislike it, but things are going to change. Society is going to progress with or without you. So I think I know where this is going already. He taps the papers against his lap, straightening them out.
Allow me to be a little blunt. I mean, we both know why you're here.
Really? Because I have no idea. I just woke up from a car ride. I was drunk as fuck. Let me tell you about this rager last night. So there was this fucking Avali, right? And he's like 2 meters tall, 6 foot tall Avali, right? And he just fucking squeaks at me. And I thought I was seeing God for the first time. And it was very interesting.
My practice focuses on people like yourself. Those who saw nothing. Honestly, that's a very small group.
I just told you I saw God. I shrug.
There's a single question I like to ask my new patients. So, excuse the cliche, but how does that make you feel? Being alone while billions receive a glimpse of the future.
That's a deep question. Oh, fuck. I was gonna have a witty remark, but I don't have anything. I thank him for rubbing it in, ensuring that the sarcasm is clear.
It's the opposite, actually. I meant to give you some support.
Really? It didn't sound like that.
Imagine being constrained by a vision of your future, consumed by it. You have what some people would call freedom, a truly blank slate.
The future is what you make of it, isn't it? Like, your future isn't decided, unless in this world it is. You can be whatever the hell you want to be, you just gotta fight for it.
Remember, Komorebi is a relatively new phenomenon. Society has flourished for thousands of years.
Unless that's what Komorebi is. I didn't read the description for this game. I'm literally going into this blind. I've not seen anything about it.
Consider your situation a blessing. Don't forget that.
Okay, I won't. Thank you. I can tell he's giving a speech he's given many times before. Yeah, when something's rehearsed, it doesn't sound as genuine. Because of that, it seems to lose some of its impact and wisdom. And you'd think, being a gray wolf, you'd be wise. Look at that. Don't fucking smile at me. As I close my eyes, I simply hope that this is all over soon. Moving on again? I'm struggling. I'm not a visual novel player, so I'm struggling to figure out how everything's kind of mingling together. Like, the only sort of visual novels I've ever played are, Honey Pop, and the other one. This one. I don't know where I'm pointing. It's this one. Don't hate me. The TV report continues, and I open my eyes with slight hesitation. I've only been here for a few days, and rest is almost impossible to find. A new start to your life is always stressful, after all. At least I have friends.
I can't believe they're making us watch this.
What are we watching?
100 years of visions?
What?
Nobody cares. Looks like Argus just wants to stroke their own ego.
Ah, his name's Dante. Okay, Dante leans forward, taking the opportunity to chime in.
Yeah, this is more about the system than anything else. Maybe they should fix all the glitches before boasting.
That's Dante. Okay.
Watch.
Well,
soon it'll say talking over their propaganda is risky.
Isaac leans forward, whispering, as if the topic is sensitive.
You're not supposed to badmouth the system, Dante.
As if my score could get any lower, man. Besides, Delta has definitely seen my true colors by now. I'm under no obligation to keep up the nice guy act.
Why does it have to be an act? Can't you just, you know, be nice?
Is this one of those weird universes where the world is like one of those dystopian futures where you're you have social credit? Oh no, the memes. Dante scoffs.
Too much effort, not enough caffeine. And you know the system is messed,
agree with that.
Isaac. We're all on a leash. They just use Komorebi as an excuse to make it stay that way.
Huh, YouTube in a nutshell.
Can't argue with that one.
Nah. Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
Delta.
Can't.
Didn't you have an appointment soon? Maybe I can use you as an excuse to stop watching this thing.
What?
And you are telling me to be nice.
So this whole world is really interesting so far. The world building, there's not a lot of world building going on right now, but there is a little bit. From what I can gather, it's this kind of dystopian future where everybody's plugged into quote unquote the system. They have kind of some sort of social credit score, and if they play nice, their score is higher. If they badmouth the system or generally are a quote unquote bad guy, then they lose social credit as well and are probably viewed in the system as bad. I'm gonna bet that sometime in the future, one of the characters is actually going to be offed because he didn't agree with the system, and that's when our protagonist goes in and saves the world. Don't quote me on that, though. Like I said, I am so blind to this game, I have no idea what's going on. I laugh and retort and lean back in an attempt to relax. I let Isaac know that he was right, but my appointment wasn't for a while. Plenty of time to gather my thoughts and continue watching this report. Yeah, I definitely need to go gather my thoughts. There's a fog over my mind, and I feel so scatterbrained. Grounding myself in this new environment would definitely help. I'm wondering. Komorebi. Okay. Introduction. Komorebi appointment. The system. News.
Interact with each word to learn more about it.
Oh, that's where the world building comes in. Okay, I want to learn more about Komorebi.
Interacting with all four, your experience will continue.
Okay. One day, the world was changed forever. Billions of people experience vivid visions of the future. Oh. These could not be mistaken for dreams. It seemed to be true precognition. The visions that people had would follow them for the rest of their lives, replaying at the worst possible times. It was almost like an intrusive thought. Whether positive or negative in nature, these visions still consumed lives. Nobody knew how or why it happened, but it was far too late. Chaos ensued. Those who saw personal success went to great lengths to fulfill their visions. Those who saw personal failures did anything they could to avoid them. It wasn't just a one-time event. Either. Komorebi overstayed its welcome. Children and grandchildren grew up alongside this odd phenomenon. They too experienced their own visions around the age of 13. The world became obsessed with the future. Obsessed with Komorebi. It was a word describing sunlight that shines down through the trees. A simple and poetic metaphor for the visions filtering into our world. Oh, so that's what it is. So our main character is the only one that hasn't seen his future. Everybody else around him have seen their future and know what their lives hold. So our character, it hasn't seen anything yet. That's interesting. That's really cool, actually. The appointment. While the Komorebi phenomenon was peculiar, there was also something else. Some people saw nothing, left completely in the dark with no vision at all. Less than 1% of the world experienced this. Very small group. I mean, less than 1% of the world is still multiple million people. That's still a lot of people, but it was still extremely worrying. What did seeing nothing mean? Were you dead? Nobody knew. Depression and suicidal ideation became commonplace among this group. Ooh. They are assigned a counselor who meets with them on a regular basis. I am one of these people. I never experienced my own vision. People always worry for me and fear that I may do something rash. In reality, however, I'm fine. My lack of vision has never defined me. Because I moved to a new city to live with friends, I was given a new counselor. It's kind of lame to start all over after spending so many years with the last one. But I'm told that this doctor is great, and I feel at home in just a few sessions. Oh, that's where it comes in. Okay. That's so interesting. It's like pulling a My Hero Academia. I'm gonna make a lot of references to anime because I love My Hero, and that sounds like this. Like Deku didn't have a quirk, so this guy doesn't have a vision. He doesn't know what his future holds. Everybody else around him does, and they've been experiencing it for years. So it's like, ooh, interesting. Absolutely, that's cool. Also, I could totally see where this would turn into a horror game because not knowing your own future, then having something bad happen. If you knew your own future, could you potentially change it? If so, how would that fuck things up? Like, it seems like people have already given up their free will in this world, and this guy's got all the free will in the world. So that's really interesting. The system. Because of the chaos that ensued during the advent of Komorebi, a plan was needed. There were too many people acting recklessly in the face of their futures. Whether avoiding or fulfilling the visions, risky behavior was a constant. Okay, so this is kind of answering my statement from last, where they were avoiding fulfilling their visions. They are actively trying to change their futures. A new system was introduced that governed the behavior of the people. They would be held accountable for all of your actions, regardless of legality. It was an attempt to keep people in line and focused on the present. I mean, I guess you would kind of need a system like that. If everybody's focused on the future and fulfilling or avoiding their own futures, no matter what fate they may have had, you would need something in place. But then again, how do you verify? Like, this is for your own good. Like, what if your future has you doing something that saves the greater good? Like, but you have to do something terrible in the meantime. Like, how does policing come into this now? How do you police something like this if everything is judged by fate? How do you police something like this when this is this person going for their fate and what they're destined basically to do? That's interesting. Live in a safe, orderly manner, and you'd accrue points over your lifetime. If you did the opposite, you'd lose points. Be rude, speed, litter, stuff like that. Your point total would define you as either an asset or a liability to society. While primitive at first, this concept grew as technology progressed. It is currently integrated into every possible device. Phones, cars, homes. The demand is clear. Be rewarded for your subservience to the system. Crime and accident rates plummeted due to this, and society is on a tight leash. But some people argue that living in chains isn't really living at all. It's really not. Life is all about taking risks and making progress, they say. Fight as they might, however, no movement has resulted in any change. Your worth in society is dictated solely by your score in the system. Generations later, managing your points is simply the norm. I would hate that! I would hate that so much! Every facet of your life being looked over and, like, you literally have no privacy? That would suck so much. I don't think I would like that. Having everything I do put under a microscope to say if it's right or wrong. Who's the judgment into saying my morning cup of coffee from the gas station is right or wrong? Like, that would suck. News report. Today marks the 100th anniversary of Komorebi. Wow, it's already been 100 years? Nothing has ever been the same since then, and I don't think it ever will be. The current state of technology and society is vastly different than it would have been. At the top of it all, right next to world leaders, is the Argus Corporation. Argus sounds like a weapons dealer. They created the system. They create almost every device we use today. In many ways, they affect our lives more than those in power. The report is basically going over the history of Komorebi and Argus. But to be honest, it seems a little self-serving and very unnecessary. Isaac was right. I think they just want to stroke their own egos. They made it mandatory viewing too. If you ignore the special report, you'd lose some points. Essentially, our social status is being held for ransom. But if there's one thing nobody can monitor, it's what I'm thinking of. So while I'm watching, at least I have time to gather my thoughts. Something tells me Argus is doing some shady shit and not just dealing with making sure your social credit is within standards, but also like kind of guiding people where they should be going. I feel like Argus is playing with people's fates. That's interesting. It's way too early in the game to be coming up with any kind of theories right now, I think, but that's really interesting. I really like where this story is going so far. This is really cool. I let out a soft sigh and everything suddenly feels better. It's crazy how much a quick mental breather can help. My last counselor was the one that taught me that. He told me that our mind is like an office full of filing cabinets. Why did I immediately think of SpongeBob? If you don't gather our thoughts, they just lay around piling up. We need to set some time aside to process and filter them. Sometimes a simple metaphor like that can really change the way you think. Unwanted thoughts can be thrown away like trash while you organize the rest. Okay, I had to take a quick break to put a blanket up because it was bad. Unwanted thoughts can be thrown away like trash while you organize the rest. If our mind was a physical space, we'd never neglect it. We'd keep it immaculate. As if it were perfectly timed, the report ends alongside that train of thought. The energy level in the room immediately skyrockets now that we're free. Honestly, it was a waste. That was an hour we'll never get back. So it's like some of those indoctrination videos where it's like you're going to your job at McDonald's and like it's this whole hour-long thing of how you need to be a McDonald's. And if you don't properly McDonald's, you're not gonna make a good McDonald. Mr. McDonald doesn't want his employees to be not McDonald's. I really like the sound design in this, and the music and the art direction. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised, I will admit. I thought I was gonna hate this, but I don't. Something tells me these first few sessions will be a total bust. I never found it fun to talk about myself, and now I'm forced to do it. Hopefully the notes my last counselor sent over will help him get up to
You
speed.
know, you're something of an anomaly to me. Most people in your situation have less than stellar scores,
What?
but you
Why do I have-
seem to exist in the middle, a truly neutral ground.
Why do I have to have something wrong with me if I've never seen my future? Just because all the cool kids are doing it doesn't mean I have to fucking hate my life now.
A preliminary look at your risk profile shows me almost nothing. But on the other hand, you haven't done much to gain points either.
Oh my god, is this gonna turn into a thing where we determine our own fate? We either become... It's like a Paragon situation in Mass Effect, where we gotta choose our own, like, how our story unfolds. Wait a second. That's cool. Another ambiguous statement. I asked him if that was good or bad.
I don't know, actually. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Oh, quit looking so bashful.
It's a little ironic, though, isn't it? In regards to the system, I mean. Your score is meant to define you as a person, yet you elude that definition.
So I've done just as much good as I have done bad. Awesome.
Then
He
again,
sighs.
I'm no stranger to attracting those that go against the norm. Would you mind answering a few personal questions for me, Delta? Nothing too intrusive.
I don't
just
mind
want
at
to
all.
get a feel for who you are.
I nod, seeing no harm in this. It's why I'm here after all.
Well then, let's start with the basics.
Sure.
Why did you move here? What did you leave behind? Big life changes like this are rarely without cause.
I moved here because all my friends... I shrug, unsure of where to start. There was a lot to say and little time to say it. At least we have our first few sessions cut out for us. Huh, okay. Interesting. It's actually taken the therapy route. I've never personally been in therapy, so I don't know really how accurate any of this is. Oh, the only thing needed to secure your defeat is holding the belief that you've already won.
Welcome to the first of 4 fragment
What?
maps.
First of 4?
This is how you will navigate through your personal experience. The top row is made up of pivotal fragments.
So, things that are very important.
You must complete all 6, but can complete them in any order.
Holy shit, there's a lot in this game. I wasn't expecting
completing
that.
all 6, you can interact with this arrow to move forward.
Oh.
You will witness a culmination of this fragment map before moving on to the next.
This is really involved. I was not expecting it to be this involved.
The second row consists
okay.
of personal heart-to-heart fragments.
Oh.
These are optional but highly recommended, as they are the key to forming bonds and relationships. Right now, you only have access to Isaac and Dante, but that will change as things progress.
Okay.
The bottom row consists of supplemental fragments. These are skits based on exchanges made in your group's chat room.
Wait, we've actually got skits?
For your benefit, they will be portrayed just like any other fragment. Upon completing a pivotal fragment, you will unlock a journal entry.
There's so much to this game!
These explore Delta's personal thoughts as events slowly unfold. There will be 5 to unlock in each fragment map, and they unlock in a predetermined order.
Okay.
Should you wish, you can also toggle the nostalgia filter.
Nostalgia filter, what is that? Literally rose-colored glasses?
This will apply a vintage look to your experience.
Literally rose-colored glasses!
You are now ready to continue your journey unhindered.
That was just the intro?
Check marks will appear beside completed fragments, so you can monitor your progress.
Okay.
It is also recommended that you alternate between various fragment types.
Okay.
Enjoy, and make it an experience to remember.
I thought this was a demo. There's a lot to this already. Okay, well, I think I should do at least one of
Experience
these.
Pivotal fragment. First arrival.
No. Okay.
First arrival.
Let's just go left to right. Let's see what happens. So the fragments are like... The people we end up hating are usually the ones we love the most. I can't argue with that. This is for family. Oh my god, okay, I grabbed my bags from the trunk, an easy task as I made sure to pack light. The point of this journey was to leave my baggage behind, not carry it with me. Ha, I get it. Isaac steps in to help out, and I turn to face the house, my new home.
Well, What do you think?
It's actually pretty good. I like it. It's
Pictures
unique.
don't do it justice, do they? It has its quirks, but
Awesome.
served all of us just fine.
Awesome. So this is where personal choice comes into play. Okay, so I'm assuming everything I do has an effect on the game later on. So, pictures don't do it justice, do they? It has its quirks, but it served all of us just fine. It was better in the pictures, to be honest. I don't want to be an asshole. I wish I had a place like this back home. It's beautiful. I'm glad to finally be here. I feel like this is the neutral option, and it's great. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Sure.
You're more than welcome in my home.
Look how blushy you are. Oh, stop.
I hope you'll get along well with Dante, though. He's, bit of a handful. At least I'll know it wasn't my fault if you ever jump ship.
He smiles at me before closing the trunk and locking everything up. I carry 2 of my bags while he carries the other 2, an equal team. We make our way to the front door and place everything down in sync.
Hold on.
He pulls out his phone and holds it up against the entry scanner. Small beep sounds, and then a moment later, the door unlocks. At least the security system protecting this house was solid. That's kind of cool.
Home, Isaac.
That's not. I don't like it when my house talks to me.
You may leave the house 2 more times today.
No fucking way. Wait a second.
Remember, a good score makes a good citizen.
Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. I definitely muted this stuff the other day. Dante must have freaked out and removed my mods. Again.
That's true. Tampering with the system at home was a big deal. I don't think Isaac was up to anything shady, though. He probably just liked silence. Typically, people would mess with the system when they had something worth hiding.
Let's get you settled.
Sure, why
You
not?
were in the car. I guess you deserve a nap.
Yeah.
But don't mess up your sleep schedule. We gotta watch that report tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta get studies laser etched into my brain. I nod, and now the door is open. We pick everything up. Using his shoulder to nudge the door open, we slowly enter the house. I've seen so many pictures of this place, but seeing it for real was incredible. That's kind of bullshit. Only allowed to leave the house so many times during a day? I don't like that. I like going outside. Sometimes you just need fresh air, man. And windows aren't enough. The living room was incredibly spacious. It looked much smaller than when we saw it online. One thing that stands out to me, however, is the lack of integrated technology. Well, I imagine when you got technology literally talking to you in your own home at all times of the day, you don't want tech anywhere in your house. Looks like a living room frozen in time around 30 years ago. Interesting. This sight, combined with how Isaac acted at the door, revealed one thing. He must not be a big fan of the system. Not everyone is, though. It's fine. I think it's actually cool how quickly you learn stuff about people after meeting them for real. I can see Dante sitting on the couch engulfed in his phone. Isaac seems a little mad and confronts him immediately.
Hey, Dante, did you mess with those changes I made the other day? I thought I told you to play along with those. I do it for a reason.
Dante's ears perked up, and he immediately rises from the couch. I can tell he let his guard down, but he was eagerly awaiting our entrance. Whatever kind of first impression he was planning, his lack of awareness destroyed it. God, I know so many people who just get buried into their phones.
Man, can't you see that I'm looking out for you? If they found out about your tinkering, they'd dock you points. Or worse. I'm sure Delta has my back here. Messing with Argus just isn't worth it.
Oh God, do I have to make another choice? Putting me on the spot the second after you meet me. Nice, I scratch my head and Isaac looks at me, likely expecting my support. I don't like it. I don't like the system. I'm gonna go with Isaac, I think. God, am I, do I go against am I against the grain kind of guy, or am I, follow the system? It's Isaac's house? Yeah,
True,
sure.
But it's only a matter of time before we're tried as accomplices.
I didn't know he was doing
Argus
it.
may be many things, but forgiving isn't one of them. Look at how the zeros are treated. See what I mean?
Oh God, they've got a term for people who run out of points.
Let's
What are
just
zeros?
change the topic, all right? I know I brought it up, but I don't want our first meeting to be an argument. Besides, I work for Argus. I know what I'm doing when I make changes.
If by work you mean enforce the system on others, then sure. You do a lot of things that you'd report other people for doing.
Hey, not
now I
fair.
see.
I may tamper with some hardware, but I never break laws. You'd be surprised how much you can bend the rules without breaking them. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but please, just trust me.
I don't know, man.
Fine. Still the best deal on housing I've come across.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, rooming up with multiple people is always a good idea because you save a lot of money. I'm getting into the semantics of things, but I don't like my house talking to me.
Can you at least tamper with the system and let us skip that report tomorrow? If you're gonna bend the rules, might as well do something practical with it.
That one toes the line way too much. I'll have to pass. It's only an hour, just put in some earbuds or something.
It feels like they're being indoctrinated. I can't get that feeling.
Delta unpack and get a bit of rest in.
I can't get that feeling out of my head where they're just being indoctrinated.
All right, fair enough. But if Argus ever comes knocking, just know that I won't hesitate before turning you in.
That eager to get me in handcuffs, huh?
God damn.
It's all part of the plan.
Hey, dude, if he gets arrested, he loses his house. If he loses his house, you're on the street. Just remember that. Dante steps forward with a laugh and holds out his hand.
I was hoping to hang out for a bit, but I get that you're tired. If you want to bond or whatever, you know where to find me.
If you want to bond, bro, you want to bond? Bro, you want to get this fucking bonding session going? Yeah, sure. I shake his hand and give him a soft nod. If we're gonna be roommates, it makes sense to bond. I let him know that I'll find him as soon as I get some shut-eye.
Perfect. And make sure to prod Isaac for me. He's way too tight-lipped about the nightclub outing this weekend.
Oh?
Hey! Thanks for ruining the surprise!
Oh no.
Your fault, keeping secrets from your friends like that.
I shrug. I knew Isaac would plan a party, so it's no big deal. Dante smirks at me and then returns to his spot on the couch. I've met people like him before, an agent of social chaos. I am very familiar with the agent of chaos. I think Dante and I are gonna get along great.
Your friend seems pretty cool, Isaac. Maybe I should start trusting you a bit more often. A group like us? Add Taylor to the mix, and we'll do great things.
Hell yeah, dude. Isaac scoffs, but then quickly displays a large smile as Dante becomes lost in his phone.
Head always in the clouds, that one. Almost prefer when he locks himself in his room to write.
Really?
Before we pick up your luggage, though, hold on a sec. This has been a long time coming, and I never got a chance to at the airport.
Oh? He steps forward and wraps his arms around me. Oh, it's a hug! I do the same as we stand for a few moments in a tight embrace. I have no idea why this is the first time I felt it, but this really was the fresh start I wanted. Aww. Okay, that's cute.
Welcome home, Delta.
That's awesome. That's great.
Just like Dante said. Great things.
Heck yeah. I released the hug with a big smile on my face. This was it, finally. The start of my new life. Heck yeah. That was great. I've been recording for how long? Okay, well, we got the first fragment done. It does seem like any choices we make do affect the game in some way, shape, or form. They either give us points or remove points or keep it totally neutral. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be playing this game just yet, but if this is something you guys want to see more of, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I definitely do want to know what you guys think of this. I am thoroughly surprised, I will say. In the beginning of this video, I said, I have played furry games in the past, and they're typically either cringe or something else entirely. This doesn't put off any of that. It's written well, its story is interesting, consequences of your actions and everything, and like this dystopian world where everything you do is under a microscope by another corporation. Like, that is really interesting to me. So, I don't know, I might play this game some more. I'll leave that up to you guys. I really did like this, and like I said, I'm pleasantly surprised. So, thank you all so much for watching. I am Raeal the Protogen, and I will see you in the next video. See you later!